Welcome everybody to the 60th anniversary of the first Meadowvale Scout Group. We ended up lucking out. Mother Nature was on our side today, so I appreciate everybody that came out. We certainly have some distinguished guests. So what I would like to do first is introduce our group commissioner, and he's going to look after the flag break. So Mike. Mr. Abbas.
Don't make me run, it's too hot. Okay, at ease? You can sit. Can you hear me? They asked me to spend a couple of minutes to, well, this is loud, to give a little information on why we're here today. Some of you, if not all of you, have heard me talk. I can probably do this for 20 minutes, but I don't think you really want to hear me for 20 minutes. So I'm going to keep this short and sweet, because we have other people here who you want to hear from, and I'm not one of them. Before we start, I want to thank all the people that have helped put this event together. It's been a lot of work. It's taken us probably 6 months to the planning from day one to now. I won't name all of you, but you know who you are. Thank you very, very much. Appreciate it. Okay, good morning, Scouters.
Good
Sorry,
morning,
afternoon.
Scouter Mike.
Louder.
Good morning, Scouter Mike.
It was afternoon. I said afternoon.
We're
Sorry.
always
Thank
fine
you.
to time.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Scouters, past, present, and future. Welcome to our honored guests and parents. Today, 60 years ago, first Meadowvale West received this charter. They actually met here in 1953. There were, let me get my notes here, there were approximately 12 scouts and a couple of leaders. In 1954, we received a charter and we officially became first Meadowvale West. I don't know where the West came from, because second, third, fourth has no West in it. Just for some reason, first has a West. There's no East, so maybe we'll strike it one day, who knows. The original colors were green and black. My guess is we switched to orange and brown when we reassociated with the church center. The original group that sponsored us, from the notes I could find, were the Ladies Auxiliary Group. In 1954, there were only 300 people in Meadowvale. So for us to have actually started a troop and to bring about that many youth it's a phenomenal thing. I won't read you the names of all the people that were here, but it was good. The following year, they were able to set up a cub group, and that was it for a number of years. Back in 54, there were no beavers. It wasn't until the 60s before the beavers came about. I'm not sure when first Meadowvale moved to beavers. I couldn't find that information, but somewhere, I guess, in the 70s, we started having a beaver group. I don't think anybody was here in the 70s for the beavers, so I'm presuming that. Marlborough Properties began construction in subdivisions in Meadowvale in the 70s, and other new scout groups began to form. Second Meadowvale came in 1978, third Meadowvale came in 1982, fourth Meadowvale came in 86, and fifth and sixth came in 2003. But we were first. That's all that matters, right? In 2003, when fifth and sixth were formed, there were 660 registered members in scouting, and we had 33 sections. It was probably the strongest and biggest group we've had in a long time in scouting. Now, 60 years. Doesn't seem like, it's just a number, right? Doesn't mean anything. Let me give you some perspective to what it is in scouting years. Scouting started in 1907. So they celebrated the 100th anniversary in 2007. So now we're at 2007. So 107 years. Scouting came to Canada in 1910. Back then, Lieutenant He was then known as Lieutenant Governor, let me get his whole name here, because I couldn't remember it, Robert Stevenson Smith Baden-Powell. Hadn't been made a hadn't really organized scouting into the movement that he thought it was going to be at that time. The first scouting group outside of Britain, amazingly, was in Chile. I thought it would have been elsewhere, but he visited. He did a lot of touring in South America, and that's where the first group is. Anyway, 1910, we started scouting in Canada. In 1909, they had a rally. That's what they call, I guess, their first, lack of phrase, a jamboree, and they had 11,000 youth show up. That's just in England alone. So you can see exponentially how the group has grown around the world. Anyway, our Governor General was Earl Grey. Where do we know that from? The Grey Cup. You guys watch football, Canadian football? No? Nobody here? Come on. Okay. Anyway, he granted a charter, Act of Parliament, in 1914, and Boy Scouts Association was created. In 1976, quite some time after our beginnings, the Canadian logo was introduced, and the organization by bylaws became Scouts Canada, from Boy Scouts of Canada. We, in those years, in the last 60 years, we've seen a number of things happen in scouting. We've introduced beavers. We've gone co-ed. We've had a drastic change in uniform, good and bad. So you see all this in red shirts. We were not happy when they took the brown shirts away. But it's changed. We've gone more casual. I think we've finally made the transition, because we haven't, you should be, because our 3 years are up. Okay. Again, thank you all for being here. Let me give you a quote before I sign off. This is from Mahatma Gandhi. I was looking around and I found this for another presentation I had to do, and I thought it was very appropriate today. It reads, "Sometimes it's not important what we do, but it's important that we do it." We're here. Thank you very much.